It was a chilly autumn night, and I was driving back home after a long day at work. The road stretched out before me, the familiar surroundings of my small town passing by in a blur of streetlights and shadows. As I cruised down the lonely country road, my mind began to drift, lost in thoughts of the day's events. Suddenly, my attention was jolted back to the present as I spotted a figure by the roadside. A hitchhiker, standing alone in the dim glow of the street lamp. It was an unusual sight, as the outskirts of town were rarely frequented by those seeking rides. My heart stirred with a mixture of curiosity and concern for the person out in the cold night. I decided to pull over, reasoning that perhaps they were stranded and in need of help. I rolled down the passenger window, and the hitchhiker approached, their face obscured by the darkness. "Hey, need a lift?" I asked, trying to sound friendly. "Thank you," came the soft reply, and the person climbed into the front seat. They were dressed in worn-out clothes and appeared to be in their late 20s, with deep, haunting eyes that seemed to carry a heavy burden. As we drove in silence, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was amiss. The air in the car felt heavy with an unspoken tension, and I wondered if the hitchhiker was simply shy or had something troubling on their mind. "Where are you headed?" I asked, hoping to strike up a conversation. But the hitchhiker's response was vague, as if they were reluctant to share any personal details. Instead, they looked out of the window, lost in their thoughts. We approached a crossroad leading to the outskirts of town, and the hitchhiker suddenly spoke, their voice almost a whisper. "This is where I get off. Thank you for the ride." Something in their tone sent shivers down my spine, and a part of me felt a strong urge to dissuade them from leaving. But before I could say anything, they had already stepped out of the car and started walking towards a nearby trail leading into the woods. I hesitated, my mind filled with conflicting emotions. Should I follow them? Was there something more I needed to do? As I contemplated my next move, I noticed a profound sadness in the hitchhiker's eyes, a weight that seemed too heavy for one person to bear. Against my better judgment, I decided to follow them into the woods. The darkness enveloped us as we ventured deeper into the wilderness. Leaves rustled underfoot, and the sound of distant owls added to the eerie atmosphere. "Are you okay?" I called out, my voice echoing through the trees. The hitchhikers stopped, turning to face me, their eyes reflecting the faint moonlight that filtered through the branches. "I'm lost," they said, their voice trembling. "I've been lost for so long." "Lost? How do you mean?" I asked, my heart filled with empathy. They hesitated for a moment before revealing their name, Emily. The hitchhiker was named Emily, and she explained that she had been wandering these woods for years, unable to find her way back home. As she spoke, the air around us seemed to grow colder, and an inexplicable chill ran down my spine. I couldn't fathom how someone could be lost for so long in the same familiar woods, and yet there was an undeniable sadness in Emily's eyes that made her story feel all too real. "I don't know how I ended up here," Emily whispered, tears glistening in her eyes. "I died in a car accident years ago, and ever since, I've been trapped in this perpetual state of confusion and despair." The revelation sent a chill down my spine. I was face to face with a spirit, a restless soul that had yet to find peace. I wasn't sure if I believed in ghosts before that moment, but there was no denying the presence of Emily, her sorrow, and her desperate need for help. My heart ached for her, and I knew I couldn't leave her to wander the woods aimlessly. With determination, I vowed to assist her, to help her find the closure she so desperately sought. We continued to walk through the woods, Emily leading the way with a sense of purpose she hadn't shown before. It was as if my presence had somehow awakened a dormant memory within her, guiding her towards a destination she had long forgotten. Eventually, we reached a clearing, and there, beneath the moon's soft glow, I spotted a weathered headstone half buried in the earth. It bore Emily's name and the date of her tragic accident. It was her grave. A mixture of sadness and relief washed over me. Emily had finally led me to her final resting place, the place where she should have found peace all those years ago. With tears in her eyes, Emily turned to me, her ghostly figure shimmering in the moonlight. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for helping me find my way home." Before my eyes, Emily's form began to fade, and a sense of tranquility settled over the clearing. It was as if the woods themselves recognized the moment's significance, embracing her with an ethereal embrace. As Emily vanished, I stood there in silence, knowing that I had been a witness to something extraordinary. I had encountered a spirit, a soul in need, and in doing so, I had helped her find the peace she had been denied for far too long. With a heart both heavy and light, I made my way back to my car, contemplating the encounter I had just experienced. It was an encounter that defied explanation, one that would stay with me forever, a testament to the mysteries that lie just beyond our comprehension. From that night on, I couldn't forget Emily's haunting gaze or the overwhelming sadness that emanated from her being. Her presence lingered in my thoughts, a reminder that there are mysteries in this world that we may never fully understand. The encounter with the vanishing hitchhiker changed my perspective on life and death, prompting me to view the world with newfound wonder and humility. It taught me that there is more to our existence than what meets the eye, and that sometimes it is through confronting the unknown that we find the most profound truths. As I continue my journey through life, I carry with me the memory of Emily,